Hey guys, Jeff Cannata here with another newest, latest, best mini. I know this review is a little late, but I finally got around to finishing season 2 of House of Cards. House of Cards season 1 blew me away, so fantastic. House of Cards season 2, of course, came out on Valentine's Day this year, but I was slow going. My fiance and I were watching it together, and so we didn't power through all the episodes and just finished them recently. So hopefully you have watched season 2 of House of Cards by this point, so that I can talk about some specifics. I won't get too spoilery, but I had heard some people that I know, that I like, that I trust, had said that the second season was not as good as the first, and I didn't think that at all. I loved season 2. I thought it was fantastic. I think the second half, the last few episodes, are phenomenal and are much better than the first half, in fact. The first half, we have that big story point. I won't spoil, but it really changes the course of the show. Very dark moment that is very impactful on how the season is going to go. And I think maybe that was off-putting to some people because it kind of came out of nowhere, and it really, I don't think, was led up to sufficiently, and kind of derails the show for a little while because there's a major character who's not involved. I didn't have as big a problem with that, and I especially didn't have a big problem with it because of where the season ends up going after that. And it really becomes about these machinations of power between, I want to say Felix Unger. No, he also is an FU. Francis Underwood. Francis Underwood, Kevin Spacey's character, and the president, and specifically one of Simon and Simon. Turft, what's his name? Anyway, the billionaire Chinese investor. And that was the most fun. This really is the show about what if Richard III married Lady Macbeth. And I think in the second season, the Lady Macbeth half, Mrs. Underwood, came to the fore much more. Robin Wright is spectacular, just so spectacular in the part. And I think her involvement and her thirst for power and her brilliant mind, strategic mind in that chess game that they're all playing, I think was much more featured in this season than it was in the first season. And we really got to see her shine and be as manipulative and vicious as he is. And I think the fourth episode, the episode where she goes on television and has that interview and reveals the rape that happened to her, I think is one of the finest hours of television I've ever seen. It stands up there with any TV episode you want to put. She is so staggeringly powerful in how she handles that tete-a-tete with her interviewer. I was riveted. I mean, I think that's only the fourth episode in, and things get ramped up more and more from there until we get towards the end of the season and Francis writing that letter on his typewriter, which I thought was such a brilliantly manipulative move, and how he manages to squeeze people until they hate him and then win them back over. I mean, this is very Richard III. This is very Shakespearean. And so wonderfully charming is he that he can alienate people completely, stab them, not behind their back, but right in front of them, and then twist them and pull them back under his wing into his sway so that he now can ascend to the highest offices in the land. It's a staggeringly beautifully shot show. I mean, this looks like a film every single episode. And it's a 13-hour film that you get on Netflix, which is so fun to just wrap yourself up in. And as fun as it is to power through, to binge watch the show, I enjoyed parsing it out a little longer, and each episode really was fulfilling to me as an episode. It didn't just feel like a 13-hour show, which some of these Netflix shows have the danger of becoming when they know they have these many episodes, that they aren't fulfilling on their own. They have to only be a binged watched show. I don't think that's the case with House of Cards. I find each episode to be compelling, and so many of them, we got to the end and it was like, oh, we have to watch one more. We have to watch one more. I didn't love the hacker character, although I sense that he's going to play a large part in what's to come in next season. And what happened with Francis's chief of staff, I tended to not be as interested in his personal life. Although, again, I think this is all setting up and pulling the screws, tightening the screws, and getting things closer and closer to an inevitable explosion that will happen in season 3. So many wonderful moments, so many great lines. I mean, this is a beautifully written show, and no one is better than Kevin Spacey. No one is better than Kevin Spacey. And that last shot of the season where he just methodically places his hands on the table and stares at the camera. This is what I love about great television. He can verbally, slice into people, and then we have these great imagery moments as well. So, yeah, House of Cards Season 2, I think just as good as House of Cards Season 1. A phenomenal show, one of the great shows of television, if we can consider Netflix television, which I think we can at this point. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I'm eagerly awaiting Season 3, but first we get Orange is the New Black, which I'm also excited to see Season 2 of. And you'll get to see more reviews on this YouTube channel if you subscribe and like. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again real soon.